fails while daring gently, so that his place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who neither knew victory nor defeat.
It's so powerful. It's so powerful. And what it says to me is I'd rather try and fail than to never try. And there are so many people that just never try because they're afraid of failing. And to me, it's almost like you're wasting your life. If you don't try something, how do you know? How do you know that that's going to be the outcome? How do you know that you're going to fail? You don't. You don't until you try. Just like you in the beginning with the radio show. You didn't know whether you're going to be on the radio or not be on the radio, but you would have never realized your success if you didn't try. You would have just said, it's not for me.
You got it almost right. I knew I was going to be on the radio.
I know you did.
I didn't know it was going to be with you. If I failed with you, I would have learned something from it, and then I would have found another place to give it a shot. Because I knew I was going to do it, but I was fortunate that I hit it with you because you were a wonderful mentor. You know, I would ask you questions at the end of each show, and you were only had 5 minutes to get to the next show. That's all you had.
Right.
And so all the questions I'd ask you for some kind of a critique because I wanted to improve, and I knew that I had a lot to learn. You'd say, you'll get it, just keep doing it. But anyway, the thing about you, Jeff, that I want to bring up, first of all, when I said Tecumseh, I'm into it now. It's Tecumseh. You know, like I don't want people to know that I'm some kind of amateur, but now I'm back into the mindset, Tecumseh. And he was one of the greatest, wisest chiefs of all the Indian nations. He was phenomenal. Okay, so, but Jeff, one of your trademarks in your style of interviewing, and you've had hundreds of broadcasts. You've done many things. I brought those out in your other shows. We won't do your biography right now. We'll concentrate on what your message is. But you ask a lot of questions, and that's part of what you teach people is to look deeper at yourself and to be honest with yourself. So I'm going to hit something real quick from your book here. This is about those that want to just fit in. This is in a chapter. Your chapters aren't titled, but in the index, you break each chapter down into 7 or 8 different things. So right. I could go back in seconds and look at the section of that chapter and find it in the table of contents. But looking back, I realized that I did not need to drink to fit in. The next time you just want to fit in, ask yourself these questions. Is it worth sacrificing who you are so you can fit in? Is it worth sacrificing who you are for the sake of keeping someone in your life who is a cancer to your own persona, who does not encourage you to be more, and who keeps you from being your best self? Is it worth the effort to keep someone in your life who is no more than an obstacle that keeps you stranded in your life? Those are some pretty powerful questions.
Those were questions I had to answer. And those are difficult questions because some of those people might be family members. Some of those people might be friends that you've been friends with for years and years and years and years. But they're the ones that are perpetuating you in the direction that you don't want to go. And I had significant people that I had to get rid of from my life.
Yeah,
that's a very difficult thing for me to talk about. I knew you would dig some up that gets me.
I'll switch it. I'll switch the subject for you. So another section of your book, you bring people to know what their inner truth is. And when I recommend your book as highly as I do, I'm not patronizing or kissing up. I have read this book because you are sharing so much. And yes, you've been through so much, Jeff. We're not, like I say, it's on some of the other shows. But you get people to focus on who they really are and seek their own truth. Now, you've got a quote here from a guy that I don't know his name. It's Blaise Pascal. Or Blaise Pascal.
Blaise Pascal.
And unless we love the truth, we cannot know it. That is profound. This guy must be some 17th century philosopher that put out a lot of good stuff. But here's the section of your book. And I'm going to give you, again, you ask questions to bring out what people need to find within themselves.
To bring out your thoughts.
Yeah. So let me give you this one. This is in dealing with, are you living a lie? Hey, if you read Jeff's book, it's not just a story that you're going to read and go, oh, that guy was pretty cool. No, you're going to be going through a personal transformational experience, because you cannot read his book and not look at yourself, period. And so don't read it if you're not willing to look at yourself and start to be honest. Are you living a lie? Listen to these questions. Here's a quick quiz for you. Answer the questions honestly. Do you feel like you are constantly hiding behind a mask? Do you feel worried that others will not like you? Do you feel that if you say no, you are a bad person and will let everyone down? Do you feel trapped in a life that does not seem to be your own? Do you feel like you are always comparing yourself to others, with them on top and you on the bottom? Do you feel as if you're finding yourself not good enough, no matter how hard you try? Do you feel afraid that if your boss, coworkers, spouse, or children found out X about you, they would never look at you in the same way again? These are very deep questions that people have to come to grips with, because there's many people that are living a lie. They don't know who they are, and they might be afraid to find out, is what you bring out.
It's absolutely true. And I see it every day. And having been in there, in that arena, I can pick it out pretty quick on people that they're just not being truthful about who they are. And it's simple. You are who you are. You're not, it drives me crazy when I see these people like on YouTube or Instagram, and they're influencers.
Yeah.
You're not an influencer.
Influencers.
Because you're posting pictures. Be true to yourself. Who are you? You're not that person standing, taking the selfie in front of the Eiffel Tower or whatever. That's not who you are. That's who you want to be. You want people to think that that's all you do. Well, that's great, but that's not who you are.
It's a bit shallow, these people that are going to just...
Very shallow. I always remind people and ask them first, have you ever seen the movie Shallow Hal? I mean, that's what it is.
It's a funny movie.
If you watch that movie, you'll understand those questions. It's like when I used to be, I don't want to say a boss, but I was a boss, and the people would come in and they would give me all this garbage about whatever it was, and it was like, all you have to do is tell me the truth about it. That's it. Just tell me. It doesn't mean that I'm going to go, fire you or this or that. I don't care. I just need to know what is actually happening or what actually it is, so that we can approach it right. That's it. And that's the same with your life. If you don't know who you are, you'll always feel like you're going around in a circle. Oh, I mean, who are you today? I know who you are, Steve. I know that you're a very motivated individual that has a tremendous belief in a certain population in our society, and that you're a martial arts guy, and that you believe in certain people, or actually all people, and you're doing good things. I mean, it's easy to see somebody that is truthful about who they are. It's very easy to see people who are just handing you a line.
I appreciate that.
I see it in athletes all the time. I mean, when you have an athlete that's on the sideline and all he does is say how great he is, and then you put him in the game, and where does he go? He misses the ball. He doesn't know the plays. He doesn't know this. He's not being truthful with himself. He's trying to put this persona, this false image of himself, so that maybe he gets in the game and people see him. That's not the way it works. You got to be ready to go in the game all the time, whether it's a sports game, business game, life game, whatever it is.
You gave a good example in your book about criticism and taking criticism and who you should listen to and who you shouldn't with an athlete. And you said, if your coach calls you off to the sideline and tells you that you need to get this this play down better so that you can participate, so that you can contribute to the team more.
Right.
Go and pull out the playbook and study the playbook so you can become better. Then that's taking criticism in the right way. If you go, hey coach, I don't need to listen to you. I make $1 billion and we could get you fired. That guy may be a great player, but if he can't work with the rest of the teammates, it's a matter of time before he gets kicked off.
Absolutely. And I can't tell you how many times I've seen that in young people. They have so much tremendous amounts of talent, but are not willing to take any type of constructive, information or criticism to better themselves. They think they know it, and that's it. And the problem with that is they'll go through life, all the way through life like that. And every time, it might take a little longer, it might not. They're going to fail, and they're going to fail hard because they didn't take the proper criticism or instruction to make themselves better.
Well, you're a traveler. You're on the roads all the time. You have all sorts of different road stories through life journeys, et cetera. And they need to stop in at your restaurant that I know you've got somewhere over there near Arizona or somewhere called Jeff's Diner, and give them a nice big slice of humble pie.
I know humble pie.
Yeah. Well, I know you got a recipe that's the best in the world. Hey, so in your chapter, Attitude is Everything, it goes on, and this is great. You caught me off guard on this one. I didn't know where you were going with this. I mean, it was good, but let me just read it. The last lead into it was something like, our nature leads us to dwell on the negatives rather than the positives. In some of my worst situations, it was difficult to find the light in the darkest places. Now I look at every situation as an opportunity to find goodness in the world. You think I'm crazy for this? You're entitled to your opinion, but this is a philosophy that has become a cornerstone in how I live. I choose to consider the fact that I'm still here as a good outcome and enough reason to not let my attitude be affected negatively. A friend shared the following with me. Dear Lord, so far today I'm doing all right. I have not gossiped, lost my temper, been greedy, grumpy, nasty, selfish, or self-indulgent. I have not whined, cursed, or eaten any chocolate. However, I'm going to get out of bed in a few minutes, and I will need a lot more help after that. Amen. I love it. The guy had done he was really good, wasn't he? He was good, but he hadn't even got out of bed yet.
So and he got out of bed.
Okay,
yep.
Jeff, let me get serious now. You've had enough. What's the word? Laity here. It's been light enough. Your book is a powerful book, Jeff, because it's a story about a man who learned a lot through a lot of stuff you went through. And I don't know anymore if people know the name Jack Canfield, but he wrote all the Chicken Soup for the Soul books. He's one of the most renowned, motivational, beautiful people in the world. Beautiful.
Yes.
I mean, those Chicken Soup for the Soul in whatever category. So you've written on the back of the book here, Jack Canfield's got a quote here. Everything you want is on the other side of fear. It is where the magic begins. It is where we grow. It is where we learn, and it is where we can help others face their own fears. This book provides you with the tools needed to face the fears keeping you stuck in life. It brings to life old man wisdom in an ever-changing world. But I got a quote here that I'm going to read, and we'll just go wherever you want from there. Many believe that asking for help is a sign of weakness. Contrary to belief, it is a sign of strength. It is a sign of courage. Giving up by giving in is a sign of weakness. Never give up, never give in, never surrender. Has as much to do with the fight in the heat of battle as it does with the quality of your life. When you seek and receive help, things change. And that, my friend, is what this book is about. I am pretty certain I would not be here today if I had not asked for help. If it were not for my wife, the outcome of my story would have been much different. And that's you, Jeff. That's what your book's about.
That's the truth. My dad, he used to say all the time, my wife is an angel sent from heaven, because nobody else will put up with my stuff. But she really did. She is stuck with me for going on 43 years now through some of the most difficult times that anyone could want to go through. And sometimes that's what you need in